Boys and girls, rejoice as we have not only the most cultured anime of the season, but maybe even the entire year. Honestly, based on first impressions, I think this has entered my top 3 new anime of the season easily. It has waifu, lewdness, an interesting story, and overall this show is just so freaking funny. Like, legit, I was lolling throughout the entirety of it. Oh, and did I mention lewdness? I can't remember. Either way, yes, we'll get to that in a sec. Sayonara monetization. We're certainly living off cup noodles this week, that's for sure. Now, I was truly lost and alone when the Cafe Terrace and its goddesses finished last season, but luckily I didn't have to wait long for an anime to fill that void. The cultured anime in question is Tenpuru, No One Can Live on Loneliness. This anime is kind of like Cafe Terrace. It has the ratio of 5 beautiful girls, well, possibly more in this one to be fair, to 1 boy. They all live together. The show certainly doesn't hesitate in showing off the girls, and there is a story somewhere in there. From first impressions, it seems that this anime heavily leans towards lewdness over its story, whereas Cafe Terrace was the other way around. So this is my warning to you if you aren't into the fan service side of anime. If you are, however, then buckle the F up. Do I have a treat for you here? So let's talk story, or I guess the plot of this thing. Akamitsu, Akagame's father, constantly told him that no one can live alone, but Akamitsu sure is determined to do so. After all, his father didn't say it with the greatest of intent. Let's just say that his father was a bit of a playboy whose goal seemed to be just to sleep with every woman in the world or something like that. This made the Akagame name infamous and has only caused Akamitsu problems, so he has no wish to be like that jerk of a father. Akamitsu instead devotes all his time to study and work. He's forced himself into believing that women are despicable and that he has no interest in them at all. He's completely shut himself off to them. Like, a group of guys asked him to check out some girls doing PE with them, and instead he keeps his head in his book studying. They also invite him to mixers, but he refuses and chooses to go to work instead. But after an accidental encounter with a young woman who hilariously wrecks him with a bale of rice, this love at first sight with the girl leaves Akamitsu with a lot of dirty thoughts. In fact, our boy completely goes off the rails and checks out the girls in PE instead of studying, thus getting kicked out of college or university, wherever it is he's attending. He also ditched work to go to the mixers, which also ended up with him getting fired from his job. Now, in a last-ditch effort to rebuild himself before it's too late, he decides to do what he must and become a Buddhist monk, and decides to live their ways at a temple where there are no women. However, this did not go the way he had planned at all, as the shrine to which he wishes to devote himself is actually filled with only women. And believe it or not, that same young woman who he had that fateful encounter with is one of the women who live there. What are the odds? Like what you hear so far, and are you a fan of these ecchi harem anime? Well, let me know by hitting that like button for me, as it really helps me out. And if you want more videos such as this, hit the subscribe button and notification bell to be notified. I'm trying to build my own temple harem of 500,000 subscribers, so let's reach that together. Arigato. Also want to give a quick shout out to my editor, an editor and a man of culture. He's the one that recommended this anime to me, so show him some love too. Now, one of the things I really loved about this show was its humor. I literally found myself laughing all the way through this one, as its comedy was something that really resonated with me. It's mainly that slapstick style that involves a lot of violence. For example, there was a lot of scenes in which our boy Akamitsu was punching himself in the face for thinking impure thoughts and whatnot. The anime's first episode also had a lot of moments where a bad situation kept on escalating and more bad stuff was happening, and it was all done in a way that to me was just perfect. I don't know why, but I really kept thinking about the Konosuba level of humor and relating this anime's comedy to that, because it wasn't all based around violence, though there was a lot of it, but there was also a lot of wit behind its dialogue that really kept me entertained. Not only that, but there was also a lot of really well done facial expressions, which were all perfectly timed with the moment that had me absolutely howling. Of course, we have to talk about the lewdness of the show, and I really approve of this. It's done in a way that's blatantly obvious about it, and not in a bad way. It's not trying to slip in an excuse to be lewd, rather the anime knows that it's a lewd one and it embraces that within itself. Whenever the girls are on show, it isn't added in there like awkwardly or as a cheap trick to get as much fan service in there as it can, but rather it kind of felt seamless, and in some occasions it was actually used to further add to the comedy aspect that was going on in the scene at the time. So yeah, the lewdness, there's a lot of it and it's so good. Like I said, the show knows what it's doing here. It understands itself, and as such, the way in which it portrays the girls and its lewdness is done in a artistic way, if you ask me. It sounds strange, I'm literally talking about an ecchi harem anime series here as if I was at a freaking art gallery or something. Like, yes, the booba in this scene are portrayed with such poise and elegance. And yeah, the butt on this anime girl is portraying a series of emotions to us through its movement. Or this piece, the colour of the girl's underwear is showing us the inner emotional struggles she's battling. It's so stupid. Take me to that art gallery, though, is all I'm saying. Maybe I should open one up, you know, the wonderful art of booba or something. But yeah, my point here is that I just like how the fan service is just there. It's a part of the show that isn't awkwardly out of place. It's one of the anime's core strengths, and it's utilizing that. Of course, this show is a romance harem, and as such, the most important aspect, the make or break of the show, if you will, is of course in its group of girls. A lot of the screen time in this first episode went mainly to Alba Yuzuki. She was the girl who had the fateful encounter with Akamitsu. She, ladies and gentlemen, is what you would consider an absolute babe. She had a sweet and kind of clumsy personality off of first impression, but also had all the kind of like, you know, sweet traits you want in a best girl, and of course a chest to match that. We also had Tsukiyo and Karagi. I believe these are Yuzuki's sisters. Tsukiyo seems a little more heated than her elder sister. I imagine Akamitsu is going to have a hard time around her, but there will be that moment where he wins her over. It's always the case with this type of girl in these shows. Karagi seems a little too young to be in this harem situation, if you ask me. I don't know her exact age. I saw 14 somewhere, so I'm hoping she's there for comedy value rather than the lewd. But of course, Japan, so I shall be cautiously watching whenever she's involved. She did have this cute AF cat though. I wasn't expecting to be so hyped about that, but not only was the cat super cute, it seems to have those classic cat asshole traits, which, you know, will lead to some good comedic moments. We also got to meet Kagura and Mia. Kagura instantly reminded me of Yotsuba from the quintessential quintuplets. I think it was the green band in her hair. Now, we didn't see much of these two, but I think Kagura may be the quiet one from what we saw. I could very well be wrong. Mia, however, was definitely not quiet from what we saw. She had a fiery personality to her, and she rocks the twin tails. I'm always a fan of that look. Another girl we saw in the series was Kiki, who seems to be one of the top dogs at this temple. I don't think she is part of this harem group, if you ask me, but she definitely seemed a little naughty. Again, I don't know her exact age, but she definitely seemed older than the other girls, and she had this kind of foxy maturity to her. So I definitely think we'll see some very decent moments of her, that's for sure. But yeah, off of just one episode, I am definitely hooked on this show. I'm happy that the ecchi void is yet again filled this season, and I'm super excited to see more of it. Hopefully I'll be able to make some more videos on this series. Definitely let me know in the comment section below if you'd like to see more videos on this anime, but also let me know who your best girl is so far. I'm currently tied between Yuzuki and Kiki. And while you wait for the next video to drop, why not check out this video where I talk about one of the best romance anime this season in The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses. Guys, that is it from me. I'll see you soon. Till then, you take care. Peace, peace.